Last Night in Soho was directed by Edgar Wright. He's one of my favorite filmmakers of all time. Of course, I was going to see this film. I was very excited to see it. It's his first foray into horror. It's obviously not a typical horror film. If he's directing it, it's very different and unique. This film follows Eloise, played by Thomasin McKenzie, a student who wants to be a fashion designer who's obsessed with the 1960s. She moves to London, and when she rents a small room, she discovers that when she goes to bed, she wakes up in a 1960s environment where Anya Taylor-Joy is there, and she seems to be connected to her in some way. Last Night in Soho is very unique. It's a movie that really takes its time. For I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 minutes, I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And I really, really liked that. I've stated this in the past. I'm very tired of movies that don't have mystery, that don't have intrigue. You always know what's happening every scene. You understand the motivation. You understand everybody's thoughts. All secrets are known. There's nothing to discover. I'm very tired of that. Last Night in Soho is not like that at all. For a large portion of the movie, you're kind of like, this is intriguing, but I don't really get it. And eventually you do. And even for some of the things that are happening with Eloise, it's never blatantly stated, she is this, she can do this. But you kind of start to get it after a while. Thomasin McKenzie is absolutely amazing in this film. I liked her quite a bit in Jojo Rabbit and Old, but here she is a fucking superstar. This is such a great performance. I was really amazed by how great she was. Anya Taylor-Joy is also really good in the film. Every single Edgar Wright film has incredible camera work, and this film is no different. The 1960s look, the set design, all of the props and the cars and the dresses and everything was just mind-blowingly accurate. And by far the most interesting thing about the film for me was that it kind of deconstructs the way we get nostalgic about certain things. In this case, Eloise is very nostalgic about the 1960s, but she never lived there. She never experienced it. Her way into the 1960s is Audrey Hepburn movies and fashion and posters and cars and things of that era, songs especially. But once she's able to sort of in a weird way travel to that time, she realizes that it's kind of fucked up. And even though all of that glitz and glamour that she believes the decade was about is there, there's still really messed up things under the surface. And I like the idea of exploring something that we all feel very nostalgic about. Doesn't mean that we're all nostalgic about the 1960s, but I think a lot of people can sort of romanticize something. And sure, it is that, but there was a lot of fucked up shit happening too under the surface. Because we tend to look at the past with rose-colored glasses and we sort of see all the good stuff. And that's fine. I mean, like in life, that's fine. But like the idea of never experiencing a time period and just being like, I wish I lived in that time. You don't necessarily know anything about that time. And it was really shitty for women as this film explores. And I really thought that that was clever. And it's something that I haven't heard too many people pinpointing when they talk about this movie. They tend to talk about the horror elements. But I like the idea that a woman feels like she would rather live in a different time. And when she actually goes there, she realizes it's worse. The horror elements of the movie mostly worked for me. Although there are some ghostly figures that are overused too much and didn't really scare me. And you could tell that Edgar Wright had never directed a horror film because he relies on them a lot, and I never really found them very scary. What's scary to me about the film is the idea that you can't go to sleep in your room without being ripped away to this horrifying time for someone. That's really creepy. Of course, the editing and the way the shots flow together so smoothly, as usual with an Edgar Wright film, was beautiful. And I've strangely heard a lot of critics talking shit about this movie. I don't really know why. Like it's really different and really, I mean, it's different, man. Like it's like not like other movies. I hope you guys check out Last Night in Soho in theaters. It's not doing great money-wise, and it could use some support. I guess films with a last in the title right now are doing shitty with The Last Duel. I don't know. It's strange. It's a weird time we're in. This is a non-IP. It's an original movie. Go fucking support it, man. These films, they need support. They need us to go see them. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to more reviews very soon. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.